Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? All right. So for those of you listening to the recording, go ahead and pause and grab these oils, okay? And for those of you on the live call, hopefully you got the email about getting these oils in your hands. If you have them, if you don't worry about it. As I talk about them, I'm going to give you some of the blends that Young Living has created with these oils. And it's really going to make sense why some of the oils that we're covering tonight were actually put in the blend. So it's totally awesome. I love this presentation. So I know a lot of people couldn't make the live webinar, which is a bummer, but hopefully you enjoy the recording. So anyway, it's Allie. Hello, how are you? How are you doing tonight? All right, so everything in this presentation has not been evaluated by the FDA. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And when you're talking about the energetic aspect of oils, it certainly does not fall under the FDA purview. So this discussion is solely about the energy of essential oils and how they're going to support the body and the mind and the spirit, because you can't work on just one, you got to work on all three. So, so Carol, I just saw that you joined. If you go into the chat, you can click on the PDF. Oh, and Barb just joined. Great. Go into the chat and click on the PDF. You can download a copy of the PowerPoint so that you have it if you want to take notes on it, okay? Trying to make it really super easy. So yay, I'm glad you guys joined. All right. And if you have a question, just type something in the chat and I'm happy to answer it for you. All right, so let's talk about energy, because this whole presentation is about the energy aspect of oils. All right, so everything in this world, in the universe, in the multiverses is comprised of energy, and energy has been proven to be these microscopic filaments or strings. You know, just think of them as like little telephone wires that vibrate at different rates, and based on the vibration, they produce different things. So oh, hi Trisha, yay. So based on the vibration of what the thing is, determines what the thing is, which is really awesome. So, you know, a glass of water is going to vibrate differently than my telephone, and it's going to vibrate differently than me or my cat Lucy, who, by the way, is sitting right here, and Jacob is banging on the door. Oh, good Lord. This is fun. All right, so here I'm just, oh wow, we got a lot of people here. All right, right here I'm just, oh wow, we got a lot of people. Trying to get people muted here. All right. Wow. Look at everybody that's here. Fantastic. Hi, everybody. All right. So I just got started. So I was just talking about the energy. Everything is energy. I mean, everything that we encounter, that we are, that we see, that we hear, that we touch, that we feel, that we smell, everything is energy. Now, this also includes emotions. So you're probably thinking, ruh-roh. Words that you use, kind of got to be a little careful about what we say, but also what we think. These are all energies that we put out. And so that's why I'm going to talk about the energetic aspect of these oils, because it's really going to help with some of the emotions and some of the thoughts that we have in us and get them out if we don't want them. So when we also talk about everything is energy, essential oils are energy. They have a frequency to them that has been measured. So it's really, it's really quite awesome what these oils can do. All right, oh wow, we got a big group here tonight. So everybody that just joined, if you want to check in the little chat box, there's a PDF there that you can download so you can follow along and you have it with you. So anyway, and if you have a question, just type it in the chat box and I'll answer it for you. All right, glad you guys are all here. All right, so after knowing all of that, everything is energy, everything is energy. And this is what I built my whole business on. Everything is energy. So my question to you is, what's going on in your body? What's going on in your mind? And what's going on in your spirit? So when you think of what's going in to your body, into your mind, and into your spirit, what food are you putting in your body? Are you putting in live food that's organic and it's wholesome and it's something that your grandmother would know what it is? Or is it something that's in a package that has ingredients that you can't pronounce that have been genetically modified, and your grandmother would look at it and say, what is wrong with you eating this food? Stop it. What products are you using? Oh my gosh, this poor lady at the Ulta makeup store, I go in there with my little app, 2 apps, one that tells me what is cruelty free for animals. And I go to the EWG, the Environmental Working Group app, and that's how I pick my makeup. And so I just totally ditched a brand that I've been using for well over 15 years. And this poor lady, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it has to be cruelty free and it cannot have toxins in it. So good luck. Luckily, I found something. So it's about what products are you using? Makeup, hand cream, shampoo, cleaners in your house. Because all of this is going into your body. But then again, it's also figuring out what beliefs do you have going into your body? What thoughts, what words do you say to yourself? What words do you catch yourself saying out loud? It's when I started really monitoring my words, and then I started monitoring my thoughts, and then I could really figure out some of my core beliefs. I was shocked at how many times I was saying, I can't, or I won't, or this won't happen, or I don't foresee this happening. It's like, zip it, stop. So, but when we also look at how people treat us, that goes into us. Do we let people treat us with disrespect? Do we let people treat us like we are dismissed? Do we let people speak harshly to us? And then how do you treat yourself? I mean, do you look in the mirror and think, oh, I think I have some dark circles. Maybe I should use some lemongrass. Or do you look at yourself and say, hey, good looking, want to go out for coffee? I mean, it's how we treat ourselves is how people treat us. How people treat us is based on our beliefs and our thoughts and our words. And our beliefs and our thoughts and our words can really get impacted by what we put in our body. So I just love how this all works together, because our body is not separate from our mind and our spirit. So that's why I love the essential oils. And I'd love to see in the chat, because I'm pretty sure I got a couple people that say that they're on the phone here. But type in the chat if you're already a Young Living member, because I think everybody that's on this is, and I would love to know that. So type me a chat with either a yes, I am, or a no, I'm not. So, because when we talk about what is going into our body, into our mind, and into our spirit, this is where I call the oils the superheroes, because energetically they are phenomenal, okay? They are phenomenal. So let me talk real briefly about chi. All right, so every living thing has a life force energy, a plant, us, Lucy, who's sitting over here, but also oils. I mean, they have a life force energy. They have a chi to them. And what we encounter as we go throughout our day impacts our chi. It impacts our life force energy. So let me give you some examples. And these are examples from my not so recent past. If you worked in an office with people that, if you had the choice, you would not associate with, that impacts your chi. If you are around people who are negative, who are toxic, who gossip, who put people down, who, when you come into contact with them, they drain the living life out of you. They are energy vampires. That impacts your chi. What you think, what you believe, what you say, what you eat, what you surround yourself with, the people that you surround yourself with, all impacts your chi. You know, it's in all of the, I've been doing a lot of business building lately because Young Living is just so freaking awesome that I can't keep it to myself. In all the business building, all of these really super top leaders say the same thing, that you are only as successful as the 5 closest people to you. So if you are hanging around people who are downers, they are negative, glass half empty. Oh, heck, glass is empty, totally empty. Then, you know, those are people who are going to impact your chi. But there's things that you can do, and that's why these oils energetically can really get the life force energy going in you. So if you've ever done any studying of the yin and yang balance that we really need in our life, I'm going to give you this as it relates to the oil. So this is just a little chart for you to have. That yin energy, it's cool, it's moist. It really primarily involves our physical anatomy, so the physical body. So when you have a yin deficiency, you feel hot, you feel thirsty, you feel restless. So what you do is you want to grab a cool oil, okay? And I'm going to go through those, so you're going to know which oils are cool. If your yin is excessive, you're going to feel lethargic. You're going to, have trouble with motivation. So again, you want to get some cool oils going in there.
I'm sounded.
Oh, for some reason, people keep getting unmuted here. There we go. All right. So yang energy is your energy body. So this is all your little energy fields that flow out from your body. And yang energy is hot and dry. If your yang is deficient, you feel chilly, you feel tired, you feel unmotivated. So you want to use warming oils. You want to light the fire under you. Oh, gee, we now have an oil called Light the Fire. Isn't that ironic? And if your yang is excessive, you feel angry, you feel restless, you have trouble sleeping, you're hyper, you cannot settle down. So you want to use cooling oils, okay? And then I'm also going to give you the Chinese elements of these oils, and we're going to talk about 16 oils, okay? And hopefully you all got the email of the oils to grab if you have them. Otherwise, if you download that PDF, it's on the like the 3rd slide, okay? But I'm going to give you the 5 Chinese elements, because when we talk about the 5 Chinese elements, we're talking about wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So wood energy relates to the liver and the gallbladder. And this is all going to tie together, and it's going to blow your mind, because I'm actually tying in some of the other energy healing classes that I teach. So I love it how it all comes together. Fire energy relates to the heart. Earth energy relates to the spleen and stomach. Metal energy relates to the lung. And water energy relates to the kidneys. So, and then when you think about, elements that promote each other, like wood promotes fire energy. So if you need more fire, you use wood. Fire promotes earth energy. Earth promotes metal energy. Metal promotes water energy. Water promotes wood energy. But then if you need to control, like if you need to tame down an element because it's too excessive, wood controls earth energy. Earth controls water energy. Water controls fire energy. Fire controls metal, and metal controls wood. Okay, so it's all going to make sense when we start going through the oils. So when we think about the connection between smell and emotion, I mean, scientifically, there's no doubt anymore that when you smell something, it can not only evoke an emotion, but it can produce a thought. So whenever I smell, I have all the oils here. Whenever I smell rose, it reminds me of my grandmother, because she used to wear, and it was a lotion. It was back in the 70s and 80s. You could buy it at the grocery or like the drugstore. I think it was called Rose Silk or something like that. But I smell rose and I think of her. It invokes an emotion in me. But it can also produce a thought, like an inspiration, like, oh, I should do this. I should write a book. I should go adopt a cat. So when we're talking about essential oils, particularly those that have been blended together, what they do is they communicate with each other, because remember, everything is energy. So the oils can communicate all of those pieces, parts, and all the constituents of these oils, because these oils are pure. Nothing's been taken out of them. They take that lavender, they distill it, they don't put anything in it. It communicates with each other, and they communicate with your brain, because when you think about smelling oils, you smell it and bam, it is already straight to your limbic system. It does not need to go through your skin or go through the digestive system. It is a straight shot to your brain and into your bloodstream. This is why I freak out when I go to a health food store and I see people smelling oils that have cautions on them that say, don't ingest, don't apply directly to your skin, don't use with animals. And I'm thinking, then why the heck are you sniffing it? Because it's already going into your bloodstream, so you might as well just drink it. It's terrible. So the connection is very strong, and it's one of the strongest ways that we can enjoy the oils. So when we talk about how the oils go to the limbic region of the brain, you know, it goes, when we breathe through this olfactory system, it goes right to the amygdala. The amygdala creates the emotional response in us. So when we talk about using oils and working with oils to resolve very deep down pent up emotions, smelling them is how you want to do it. You can ingest them, you can apply them to your skin, you can diffuse them however you want, but smelling, taking the bottle, taking a good whiff, or putting it on your hands and taking a good whiff of it, the breathing on a daily basis is how you're going to release long-standing negative emotions that are stored in the limbic region of the brain, the emotions that you do not want anymore, the emotions that are so subconscious that they have created a belief system, which then governs your thoughts, your words, and your actions, okay? So when we think about, which by the way, Lucy, there's her tail. Lucy, just don't unplug anything here. Oh, she already did. She already unplugged my computer. There we go. I don't want to disconnect on you guys. So when we talk about emotional baggage, all right, you don't have to type anything in the chat unless you want to, but let me see a show of hands. How many of you have emotional baggage? Okay, we all do. You cannot be a human being and have a double-digit age and not have emotional baggage. You can't. You would have been living in a cave, and then you got your own emotional baggage from that. So this comes from a whole different training that I do, but it is so relevant to this training, and it relates to these oils unbelievably. It's from a modality that I teach called integrated energy therapy. So when we talk about where we store guilt and distrust, it's in the head. It's in the head. I don't have a lot of time to go through why. Just keep this slide because it's really going to be important. Guilt and distrust are stored in the head. Our throat is where we store not speaking our truth, actually having shame to speak up, you know, that shame that we're going to be made fun of. Our neck, back of the neck is where we store threat. That's why when you're afraid, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. Shoulders is, somebody was just calling me. Is it one of you? So anyway, shoulders is where we store the shoulds. I should do this, I should do that. The left side of the body is feminine energy. The right side of the body is masculine energy. So on the left side, the left shoulder, this is our to be list. I should be nicer. I should be more compassionate. I should donate more. I should volunteer more. Whereas the right side, masculine, is your to-do list. I should do this. I should do that. I need to check this off my list. Our heart is where we store heartache and betrayal. Our liver, which is on the right side of the body, which is masculine, is anger. Go to the other side. That's where our spleen and pancreas is. That's where we store resentment, because men get angry and women get resentful. Does that make sense? The stomach is where we store powerlessness and stress and nervousness. So when you think about if something happens and you feel powerless, like right now, today, 2 of my friends who are very young started chemo treatment. I feel powerless, even though I'm sending them lots of distant healing, and they're both Young Living members and they're oiled up. I feel powerless. I feel it in my stomach. So that's why I'm so glad we're doing this webinar tonight, because I'm inhaling. I'm going to be high on oils by the time we're done, friends. But you feel it in your stomach, right? Something happens and people say, I feel like I was punched in the gut, or I feel like I'm going to be sick to my stomach. Yeah, that's where it goes. And then kidneys is where we store fear. So keep that in mind as I go through these oils. I mean, all of this, the chi, the 5 elements, the emotional baggage locations, it all comes together. It's like totally awesome. I just love it. All right. Yay. Okay. We're starting with the oils. Woohoo. All right. So, all right. Bergamot. And if you don't have these oils, it's totally okay. I'm going to give you some of the blends that they're in. So if you have the blends, and if you have your oils nearby, start sniffing them, okay? All right, so let's talk about bergamot. So bergamot is a cool and dry oil. I'm gonna sniff the whole time I'm talking. So cool and dry, oh, it's a wood element too. So cool and dry helps with pent up feelings of unexpressed anger. And what it does is it helps to release the pent up energy, helps to release the pent up energy before it leads to depression. Okay? Now, the nice thing about talking about the energy of oils is I can say the word depression, because I'm talking about it from an energetic aspect. I'm not talking about it from a medicinal or a mental health aspect. This is all energetic that I'm talking about. So smelling bergamot, oh, this is lovely. And Lucy just crawled in my lap. Let's see. I don't know if you can see her. She just crawled in my lap like, oh yes, I will have a little bit of this too. So what it does is it helps you get the anger out of you. Now remember I said anger is stored in the liver. And look at that. Bergamot harmonizes the liver chi to help get the anger out. It moves that stagnant chi. It moves those pent up angry energies, okay? So it helps to release them. It helps to relax. It's very uplifting, and it builds confidence. Because when you can get rid of the anger weighs you down. It weighs you down. So you want to use this oil when fear or pent up emotions are taking over your life and you need to break free. I love this. Bergamot, along with lime and grapefruit, which I'm going to talk about grapefruit, I put in sugar and almond oil, and I make the most delish shower scrub. That's my recipe. Bergamot, grapefruit, lime. I totally stole it from Whole Foods. There you go. So bergamot, you can use all 3 ways. Ingest it, apply it topically, smell it. Okay? It smells, okay, and this is the part that I love. It smells sweet. Now, if any of you actually have these oils, like you're smelling them along with this presentation, Write me something in the chat because I'd love to know what you think. Because when I smell this, it smells sweet. So when you think about releasing anger and pent-up feelings and something smells sweet, it's bringing sweetness into your life, okay? So it's cooling and it's drying up those inflamed emotions. Isn't that awesome? Oh my God, I just love this. So you're cooling and drying up those emotions. It's a cool and dry oil. The wood element relates to the liver. So isn't that fascinating how the chi, the 5 elements, how this all works together? I think it's amazing. So Sherry says she smells a fresh forest. Yeah, it's, and everybody smells oils differently. I mean, you may smell an oil and think, ew, it's swill. And I may smell it and say, oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever smelled. We all smell it differently. So, this is cooling and it's drying up those inflamed emotions. The body systems that it works on is digestive, it's skin, it's emotional, but it's really targeting the liver chi to get it moving. So Carol says it smells heavenly. Yeah, one of your favorites. Yeah, it's awesome. So it's in, Lucy's sitting on my book here. So it's, it's in blends like Awaken, Forgiveness, Harmony, White Angelica. Think of what those oils do. Awaken yourself to get those pent-up feelings out, to forgive, to have harmony, to get that angelic energy going. No wonder they put bergamot in those. Unbelievable. Are you guys totally freaking out over this like I am? I mean, when I started researching this and putting this presentation together, I had so many aha, holy cow, this is unbelievable moments. I mean, the whole time I'm screaming. It's like, wow, this is so awesome. All right. Okay, let's move on from bergamot. Otherwise, this is going to be like an 8-hour webinar. I have no problem sitting here for 8 hours and smelling oils. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Okay, I'm an addict. All right, cedarwood. All right, let's go to cedarwood. Okay, cedarwood is warm and dry. It is a water element oil. Water element supports the kidneys. Oh, this is amazing. So if any of you know Shannon Hudson, she's a diamond. She's here in Michigan. She says she slathers this all over her face before she goes to bed. Go Shannon. Anyway, so water element supports the kidneys. So this supports kidney energy. It strengthens the kidney chi. All right. So what do the kidneys relate to? Kidneys relate to fear. Okay. So it helps us to reduce, eliminate, move on any fear that is in our kidneys. Now, cedarwood is a protective oil. It is historically known as a protective oil. It is an ancient scripture oil. It is in our ancient scripture oil kit. The Native Americans used this oil not only to enhance their spiritual communication, but animals will lie underneath a cedarwood tree at night for protection. It is a protective oil. So when you think about when you feel protected, you don't feel afraid, right? Because fear is in the kidneys. So this gets out the fear. It helps you feel protected. So the energy of the kidneys feels good. See how that all comes together? And because it helps to move the fear of energy, the energy fear along and put in the protective energy, it helps you with endurance and it gives you immovable strength. Think of a cedar tree. It is a big tree. It has deep roots. Trees, most, are unshakable no matter what happens during the difficult times. You get a lot of wind, you get a hurricane, you get one of those wonderful Michigan winter, storms, and most trees will withstand it because it's strong. This is a oil to make you strong. So when you are afraid to do something and you need strength, grab your cedarwood. It is the oil that you want to grab when you are feeling afraid and you need to overcome those fearful emotions and when you need to instill more courage in you. Okay? So speaking of another courage oil, this isn't part of this presentation, but the new Northern Lights Black Spruce. It is another courage oil, which is why Gary had to spend months in 40 below degree weather in British Columbia building us the Northern Lights farm and getting us black spruce, because it's in valor. And the world freaks out when we don't have valor, right? So, but cedarwood is a nice alternative. So you can take this all three ways: drink it, apply it, smell it. It supports your nervous and respiratory system, because when you think about it, when you are afraid, don't you sometimes have trouble breathing? Like, I can't catch my breath. Oh my God, I'm like panicked. You're nervous, and it impacts your respiration. Isn't that nifty how that works? So this oil, cedarwood, is in the blends grounding, it's in inspiration, live with passion, the sacred mountain, the Sarah oil. So think about those. Grounding, of course, you're going to ground with a tree oil. Inspiration, when you can move out the fear and put in the protection, the protective oil, and have that strength, you can then actually get inspired of the things that you're supposed to be doing because you're not so covered up by fear. So you can live with passion. And the Sarah oil, which is all about really moving the energy of trauma, the energy of fear out of you. Of course, this is in the Sarah oil. So when I smell it, it smells very woody. So when you think of woods, it's grounding. It's a strength oil, okay? So, all right, so let's see. We have a question here. Could one use cedarwood on pets for kidney support? Yeah, I would just dilute it a little bit, especially, with cats. Absolutely. Just dilute it a little bit. I tend to be conservative in the oils with pets, but absolutely any of these you can put on them. Absolutely. Good question. All right, let's go to Cypress. Cypress is actually one of the raindrop oils. If you've ever had I'm already smelling. Oh, this is awesome. If you've ever had a raindrop and you come out smelling like minty lasagna, this is one of your oils. So it's a cool oil. It's a dry oil. It's a combination of the metal and the water elements. So metal and water are dealing with lung and kidneys. Okay. So it's an ancient scripture oil. And, we can talk about the ancient historical use of oils all day long, and no governmental agency can stop that. So I just love to say that. So what this does is it detoxes negative energy in the liver. All right, what do we store in the liver? Anger. Liver's on the right side. Men get angry. And it reinforces lung energy. And when we reinforce our lung energy, like we can take a breath, we can fill our lungs with life force energy, it instills us with, here comes Lucy, sitting in my lap. She likes the cypress. It instills us with optimism. It helps to support bereavement. Okay, think about bereavement. When you're grieving, what do? You cry. When you cry, sometimes you can't catch your breath. Why can't you catch your breath? Because your lung energy is off. You use this. This helps. Do you hear that? Jacob is like banging on the door to get in. This helps stabilize lung energy, and it helps you grieve. It doesn't suppress it. None of these oils suppress. They get it out. Okay? So this gets your lung chi moving. Okay? It's reinforcing because when you can breathe, you feel strong, you feel reinforced. It can unearth blocks. It can help you find a new direction in life, because when you have no fear, get your kidneys going and you can breathe, you can actually move through life. So it can move blood energy. I mean, it just helps you cope with change and the flow of life. Because when you think of kidneys, it's all about flow, right? Kidneys are water. It's all about flow. So you use this when change is happening. And folks, if you get into any sort of astrology, we are in crazy, bizarro times. August has been a crazy, crazy month. It's calming down a little bit, but we got major, major astrological things going on. I've been feeling it like crazy. I just wanted to sleep all last week. It was so harsh. And the oils are really helping me. But when change is happening, either intentionally, like you quit your job, you move. Oh, gee, I did that this year. Oh, no wonder I love the Cypress. But when you intentionally bring on change, or you unintentionally, you lose your job, you lose a relationship, you lose your health. The astrological energy is really freaking you out. This helps you be strong and to flow with it. Because when you resist it, that's when we get ourselves into trouble. You can't resist stuff. We're supposed to change. Our bodies change every day. We grow new cells. And if we're not changing, we've stopped living. And if we're not living, we're dying. So we need to change, and this little bottle of Cypress will help you with that. So it will calm the fear energy in the kidneys, but keep the energy of the lungs going. Okay, see how that works? So it works with the cardiovascular system. It works with the muscular system too, which is why it's in the raindrop technique. You can take it all three ways: drink it, apply it, inhale it. And when you smell it, it smells, to me, cool and woodsy. And it's like walking down a path in the woods. When I smell this, I feel like I'm in the woods. And when you're in the woods, you're walking on a path. At least most people are. This is your life path. Get your behind moving. Get the change going and stop freezing up sort of oil. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Tell me that this makes sense. Okay. All right. So it's in the blend Aroma Seas, which is why it's a good muscular oil. Okay. All right. I'm seeing some yeses. Good. All right. If you have questions, post them. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep yapping away. All right. Next oil, frankincense. All right. Yay. Everybody should have frankincense because it comes in the starter kit since the beginning of time. All right. So, all right, so frankincense. All right, Lucy keeps walking around. All right, frankincense is cool and it's dry. It's earth and metal element. So earth and metal supports the spleen, which is where we store resentment, the stomach, which is where we store stress and powerlessness, and the lungs, which is where we store like our flow of truth, being able to speak our truth and not letting shame and fear suppress it down. So it works to help you to deepen your breath. I mean, sometimes in life, do you ever feel like I can't catch my breath? Like I'm so stressed, I'm running around like crazy. And I just want to take a deep breath and exhale. So when we're stressed or when we're angry, we breathe shallow. This helps to open up your breathing. It instills a life force energy. I mean, this is the life force energy oil. Okay? Frankincense, ancient scripture oil. Like dozens of references in the Bible. It is the life force energy oil. Now, really, what got me on this path to the energetic aspects of the oils? A friend of mine who actually runs a cat sanctuary where all she takes in is feline leukemia cats. She smelled this oil. A couple days later, she said she had a terrible asthma attack. Well, okay, you and I know it was not an asthma attack. It was grief. She was pulling up grief in her lungs because what does she deal with all day? Cats with feline leukemia. cats who are dying on her at very young ages. She's pulling up grief. So it really just shows me what these oils can do, because it focuses on the lung chi. It will pull up the grief from the lung energy. But at the same time, it's also a great meditative oil. So it's tranquil. It can calm your mind. If you have monkey mind when you meditate, take Frank into the meditation room with you. When you feel overwhelmed, Frank should be your best friend. I affectionately call frankincense Frank. So, because we are on a first name basis, I'm pretty much dating Frank. Is that wrong? Please tell me that's not wrong. Anyway, oh, Frank, you smell good. All right, now I'm getting silly because I'm getting high on oils. Are you getting high on oils? Post me in the chat. Tell me if you're getting high on oils. All right. So, this is an ancient scripture oil. It is one of the most spiritual oils. So like I said, it's great for meditation. It seizes that mental chatter. It stills the mind. So if you are distracted or overwhelmed, grab Frank. All right. Barb wants to know, how do I use Frank? All three ways. Drink it, apply it to the skin, smell it, diffuse it. You can use it whatever way you want. It's safe no matter how you use it. But smelling it is how we actually deal with our emotions. So when you smell it, like when I smell it, it's very rich. It's very deep. Like Frank is a deep soul. It's warm and it's sweet. And to me, it feels very connecting. So when I think about how they actually get this into the bottle, how do they get Frank in the bottle? The frankincense trees in Oman, Somalia, and Yemen, the tribes there, the Bedouin tribes, they actually scrape the bark off the tree and then the oil oozes out from it. And they basically wait for it to ooze out enough and dry, and they snap it off. And then that's what they distill. It's because it comes from deep inside the bark. I mean, that's why it smells deep to me, because it's coming from deep inside the bark. But it's very warm. Smells warm to me. Even though it's a cooling oil, it just smells warm to me. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. But it helps with the emotional system, your immune system, your nervous system, your skin. It's really good. You ought to be putting this all in your face cream, making your own face cream. Okay, don't be buying crap. I don't want to hear that you're buying crap over the counter, because I will smack you upside the head with a bottle of Frank. So frankincense is in blends like acceptance, because when we can't accept what's going on in our life, we've got a block in our lung. When we have trouble believing, that's probably a stomach issue. That's our solar plexus, because we're stressed out. When we have trouble forgiving, okay, that's coming from the resentment, from the spleen. It's in gratitude, which helps with forgiveness. It's in trauma life. Okay, so it's in, when you think of the oils, and it's in a lot of other blends, but those I found were really potent. And when you think about what frankincense really does, it works on resentment and stress and the flow of truth and deepens our breath. Of course it's in these blends. So do you see kind of the method to the madness of how Gary selected these individual oils to go into these blends? I think it is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. We all know he's brilliant, but it's brilliant. I mean, there's like science and there's energetic science supporting all of this. It's awesome. All right, next oil. Geranium. All right, who's got geranium? Oh, that's awesome. All right, it's cool and moist. I mean, it smells like the geraniums in your backyard that just got rained on, but it's cool. It's not warm. It's a water and earth element oil, so it relates to the spleen, which is where we store resentment. It relates to the stomach, which is where we store stress, and it relates to the kidneys, which is where we store fear. So it's cool and it's moist, so it can clear heat, so heated emotions, and it's soothing to all of your chi. Okay, so because it clears heat, it can relax. It can relax the mind, because sometimes we got crazy monkey brain and that's hot. So we want to cool it down. When we're angry, it'll calm agitation by cooling it. It eases frustration and irritability, because frustration and irritability are hot. We want to cool them down. So this is really good for the workaholic. All right. So how many of you are willing to admit that you're a workaholic? I am. I'm a workaholic. I am known to be sitting on my couch with my laptop here watching Bachelor in Paradise. I am not ashamed to admit that, although I kind of am. I just want to give them all oils because they are all messed up. But I'm still sitting on my couch with my computer at 10 o'clock at night. I work and work and work and work, and I'm learning and teaching and doing stuff, and I love it. So, yeah, I say I'm not the only one. So it is a great oil if your workaholic, perfectionist tendencies are creating problems for you. Because sometimes it blocks our intuition and our imagination. This oil will open up your intuition and your imagination by telling you to not be so perfect and to relax a little and to chill out, because it's a cooling oil. It'll help you chill. It helps you reconnect to the feeling part of your life, okay? So it smells like an earthy flower. And when we need to chill out, we need to go spend some time hugging a tree and laying on the earth, okay? So, when we think about flowers, flowers are typically given by loved ones to show that they love us, all right? So this helps to reconnect us to loving energy. So it's an emotional oil, but it's also a great oil for your skin, okay? Let's keep that in mind. It's in blends like clarity. Okay, so think about this. When you need better intuition and imagination, and stop just, because perfectionists are up in the brain. And sometimes we need to create and do our work based on our intuition, in our third eye and in our heart. So we need to get out of our brain. This will help you get out of your brain. And so clarity can help with that. Envision can help with that. That's why this is in those two blends. Gentle Baby is very soothing, very relaxing. Trauma Life, getting the resentment, the fear out of your energy system. White Angelica, very soothing, very angelic. Geranium is in those blends. So kind of makes sense, right? Makes sense. All right. Next oil, grapefruit. All right, grapefruit is cool and moist. It's a water and earth element. That is so delicious. I'm sorry. I just had to drink some. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Awesome blossom. All right, so, woo! That's got a nice little kick to it. Sorry, I took too much. All right, needed to drink some water. Woo, that is potent, but that is so good. That is good stuff. All right, water and earth elements relate to spleen, which is resentment, stomach, which is stress, kidney, which is fear. Are you seeing a theme with a lot of these oils? We're dealing a lot with resentment, anger, stress, fear. Not a coincidence. All right, so it's cool and moist, so it clears heat. And it's soothing. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong one. It is cool and dry. It's wood and earth. I'm sorry, strike that. It's wood and earth elements. Wood and earth govern liver, which is anger, not resentment. Gallbladder and spleen, which is resentment, and stomach, which is stress. There, got it right. So what it does is it cools the heat. It helps to cleanse and to kind of lighten you up. It is an energy decongestant, okay? Energy decongestant. So it cleanses your energy system, lightens you up. What it does is it supports you to stop overindulging. It stops the energy of comfort eating, okay? Because we comfort eat when we're under pressure, right? When we're under stress. And that pressure targets the stomach. So sometimes we comfort eat when we're dealing with, difficult emotions. This can help cool those emotions, which is why a lot of people go to grapefruit for weight management. Because energetically, it helps you stop the comfort eating. So it helps you deal with difficult emotions, which is why it focuses on the stomach, which is where we store a lot of emotions. It can ease the immediate gratification that we often need when we energy eat, that energetic need to feel full when we really don't need to. We don't need to eat, but hey, it's lunchtime, I'm going to eat. Grapefruit helps with that energy. Grapefruit also helps us when we've been let down, okay? So the anger, the resentment, the stress from being let down by somebody, being let down by expectations. It clears the psychological heat and the congestion from deep-seated frustration and blame. Okay? I think a lot of people, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, a lot of people have deep-seated frustration and blame. I mean, I've had it in my career, my legal career. A lot of deep-seated frustration and blame because I deal with criminals who do bad things to kids and animals. Blah! Grapefruit to the rescue. So you can take it all three ways, drink it, apply it, smell it. To me, it smells very fruity, but bitter, which is why when I put like 5 drops in my mouth, I was like, oh, it's bitter. It's fresh, but bitter. So think about bitter. What's bitter? Anger, right? Anger is bitter. You hear people say, oh, she's bitter. Yeah. Yeah, anger and resentment is bitter. This is a great oil to help with it. It's bitter. So it's a great way to remember, I want to deal with the bitterness in my life. Let's pick an oil that's bitter. Grapefruit is the oil that you go to. So grapefruit is in Citrus Fresh. So that's also a good blend that you can go to if you don't have grapefruit. All right. Jasmine. This was my latest Essential Rewards gift, nifty gifty to myself. And you want to know why? Okay, I'm going to tell you a little secret. And Carol, I think you know this because I think I shared this with you at convention. So when I was at convention, I almost feel like that movie, American Something, where the girl is like, so at band camp, so at convention a couple weeks ago, when I was at the, how many of you were at convention? Type me in the chat if you were. I know Carol was. When I was at convention, I befriended a Young Living employee. Her name is Angela. I love her. I heart her all over the place. And she kept coming up to me she was blending oils on those paper stick. Oh, Trisha, I wish I would have known. Oh, you were session A. I was session B. Darn. Anyway, Angela, she would take those paper sticks that you put perfume on, and she was blending oils and just bringing them to me. It's like I had this sign on me that said, please bring me blends. And she brought me Jasmine and the Northern Lights Black Spruce. It is my new signature scent. You are welcome to use it because it will rock your world. And this is why. Okay, so I've already talked about like the grounding, protective, courage part of the Northern Light Black Spruce when I was talking about Cedarwood. Let's talk about Jasmine. This is why I love it. It's warm. It is a fire and water element oil. So it is fire is heart, water is kidney. All right. So what it does, it can energetically relax and support your heart, chi. It can calm it, but it can also warm it up. So if your heart is blocked, by too much disappointment and resentment and all of that, bad people and stuff like that, this warms it up. It warms the cockles of your heart, as my grandmother used to say. That just came to me. Brilliant. Thanks, Grandma. So what it is it's comforting sweetness because it smells sweet. How many of you have jasmine? If you don't have jasmine, use your essential reward points and get it. It's awesome. So it's sweetness for the mind and for the emotions. It sweetens your heart. It calms and releases any emotions that ought not be in your heart. And it's very uplifting. So it is energetically one of the most effective oils for nervous anxiety, for restlessness and depression. Because when we can get that energy cleared from the heart and we can get our heart chi going, the energy of depression and anxiety and restlessness moves on. So it also supports the kidney. It's a very powerful oil for the urogenital system, okay? And that's where the kidneys are. So it can support the kidneys by flushing the emotions of the heart. I want you all to write that down. It will support your kidneys by flushing the emotions of the heart, okay? So the heart and the kidneys are connected. Flush the heart, you flush the kidneys. So it's also known as the fertility oil and the love oil. So if you just need more love in your life, more sweetness, this is a great oil because it smells sweet. It's an aphrodisiac. I think I'm going to put Jasmine and Frank together. That's what we call essential oil speed dating. All right, so it is in oils like forgiveness. Okay, now you see why Jasmine is in forgiveness, why it's in highest potential. Carol uses highest potential every day. Awesome. It's a fantastic oil. If you don't have it, for those of you on the call, get it. It is one of my top 5 oils. I love, love, love it. But it's also an inner child, which is an oil that I wear almost every day. As I do joy, I wear both of those as perfume. Because when your heart is clear and the chi is moving, you feel like you're reborn. You feel like a child and you have joy. So see how it makes sense? How these oils got in those blends? Awesome. All right. Awesome is the word of this webinar. Feel free to use it amongst yourselves. All right. Carol says these blends come up a lot for my rescue animals. All of this stuff that I'm talking about applies to animals. Okay. All right. Oh, Patty uses inner child every day too. Nice. Nice. I'm so glad that I'm not the only one behaving like a child here. Fantastic. All right, let's go to lavender. I know everybody has lavender unless you've used it so much that you ran out. So let's talk about lavender. It's cooling and it's drying. It's fire and wood element. So fire and wood is liver, which is anger, gallbladder, which is resentment, heart, which is heartache. Okay, so it's calming, it's cooling. Okay, it's cooling to stabilize the heart chi. What it does is it releases pent up energy in the heart. So, which is heat, right? Pent up energy is heat. It's general unrest. Well, it's also how we can break up bad habits is by using lavender. Because bad habits are formed in a variety of different ways. I don't even have time to go into that. But it's known as the habit breaker oil. So, because you need to stir up that energy where the habits are. So one thing that I like to do, and I'm actually working on a separate publication. It's not going to be necessarily for sale. I'll share it with everybody. But using the oils with affirmations. So if you have an affirmation to help reprogram a core belief, smell lavender when you're doing it. It's really amazing how it works. But it's also good as a crisis smoother outer. So all of this, when you think about it, releasing pent-up energy, releasing general unrest, releasing the habit, bad habits, and smoothing out crisis, this all goes back to the anger that we hold on to. We get the anger out and all of that stuff gets smoothed out. It brings on peace and love, which is heart chi, okay? So think about right now, I want you to think about something that you're angry about, all right? And think of something that you've been stewing about. Man, I got something. We've been in Venus retrograde, friends, and I hate it when people come out of the past. It's like, you're in the past for a reason. Go back. All right, so I'm thinking about that. And because when you think about something and you stew about something, you're making it a habit. And it's easier for it to come up because you've just put energetic grooves in yourself. It's like walking on the same path every day. It's easier to walk on the path than it is to go off path. Think about it and start smelling your lavender right now. And get that reprogrammed. Like, you know what? Nope. I'm going to think about happy stuff. I'm not going to think about people coming back from the past. I'm not going to think about people doing bad things to animals or kids. I'm going to think about people loving animals. They treat kids with respect, and only good people being in our lives. That's how you do this, okay? So it smells flowery, it smells earthy. So I actually call this the grounding joy oil. Even though we do have a grounding oil and we do have a joy oil, to me this is grounding joy, because it's grounding because it's earth, it's woody, and it's joy because it's flowery. So it helps with body systems like cardiovascular, which is heart, nervousness, which can be anger and resentment, skin. Okay, when we're detoxing a lot of anger, it comes out through our skin, right? And it's emotional. So it's in oils, blends like harmony, motivation. Because if we have a lot of pent up anger, it blocks us from getting motivated. So that's why it's in that oil. It's in the surrender oil. We need to surrender all this junk in ourselves. That's in trauma life to get us out of it. All right, Barb says, I use it on the inside of my wrist at bedtime and I sleep so much better. Yes, because you can process all this stuff energetically when you're sleeping. So use it on your wrist, bottom of your feet, diffuse it, drink it, what have you. Jacob's still trying to break in. All right, next oil. All right, we're cruising along here. Lemon, grab your lemon. Everybody should have lemon unless you've used it excessively like I have. Boy, I have a lot more than I thought I did. So this is a cooling and a drying oil. It's earth and fire elements. So earth and fire is heart, which is heartache and betrayal, spleen, which is resentment, stomach, which is stress. So I actually have lemon in my water. Yum, yum, yum. All right. So it's cool and it's dry. So what does cooling do? It clears heat. It clears dampness in us. Okay. So let's talk about clearing heat. Clearing heat in an overburdened mind. Okay. So when you have too much of a to-do list up here in your big old brain, okay, this is when you need to clear it, because you need to make decisions. Doesn't mean you're going to turn off your brain. You can't turn off your brain and survive in this society. You need a clear brain. You use lemon. This is great when you need to think, okay? When you need to think. When you need to clear confusion, the dampness of confusion. When you need to uplift yourself and make decisions. It cools emotions so that you can move that confusion along and actually feel what you should be feeling and decide what you need to decide. So it's uplifting, it's clarifying, all right? Which is why it's in the blend called Clarity. So, it just purifies the mind because it clears things. So when you're stressed out, or you're full of heartache, or you're full of resentment, you don't think clearly, right? You got to clear it. Clear it with lemon. Smell it. It's clearing. And clearing can also mean cleansing. You smell it. If you just use this in your house smells clean, right? You smell it. You put it on. You drink it. you clear yourself, you cleanse yourself, okay, in a better way. So you can drink it, apply it, smell it. It smells sharp to me, which is why this will help you feel sharp and clear. It smells sharp and clear, so it clears your mind. So the body systems it works on energetically, it works on the digestive system, your immune system, your respiratory system. So it's in oils like clarity, of course. It's in joy, because when you can move all these emotions, you feel joy. It's in the new oil, light the fire, because you got to clear this junk and then you can light your fire. And it's in transformation, which is, I use that oil pretty much every day in all of 2014. Very transformative. I highly recommend it. All right. Next oil, neroli. Again, an oil I highly recommend you use your essential rewards points and you get, because this is amazing. It is a cooling oil that, who's got neroli? Type me in the chat. If you don't have neroli, seriously, you bank those essential rewards points and you get some of these high value oils. You know, you grab the jasmine, you grab the neroli. You can't use essential rewards on rose because the dollar amount and the PV amount don't match. And you can only use points when the dollar amount and the PV do match. So anyway, it's cooling. It's fire and wood elements. So it governs liver, which is fear, gallbladder, which is resentment, heart, which is heartache. I mean, are you seeing a theme with these oils and what they work on? So, it just reminds me of some studies where I've read where, this is a tangent, where researchers are connecting unresolved resentment and grief to breast cancer. Okay, so, and where is the breast close to? Heart. It's also close to the liver and the gallbladder where we store anger and resentment. So we need to clear the heart while we clear the liver and the gallbladder and the spleen of anger and resentment. Oh, and Carol said pancreatic cancer. Yeah, it's clear the anger and the resentment. Man, and there's so much legitimately to be angry and resentful about these days. But we've got to clear it because we're only killing ourselves. So, everything connects. Nothing is isolated anymore. It's, surgically removing a body part may help with an immediate emergency, and targeting a treatment. I'm not going to name treatments, but targeting a treatment to a body part may help in an emergency, but it doesn't clear the energy. You can take out the body part, but that energy of that body part and what caused it to degrade is still there energetically. So this is why we see diseases return, even when you do surgery and go through all of these really harsh treatments. So that's why this is all about body, mind, and spirit. I'm not saying don't do surgery and don't do those treatments, because sometimes those are needed, but you got to do everything. Oils are a huge part of this. That's how you balance and heal. And I'm not talking healing as in cure. That's not what heal means. It's about balancing energetically. So, okay, let's get back to neroli. Thank you for that tangent, friends. So it's soothing. It's an oil of purity and beauty when you go back into the history of it. It is a cooling, soothing, grounding energy. It grounds and it cools and it soothes unstable emotions, hot emotions. Okay? When you have hot emotions, it results in restlessness and insomnia, right? Can't turn your brain off. You can't turn your heart off. So this is really good for people who are emotionally intense, and we all know them. People who are emotionally unstable. They swing from side to side. You need to help them release the emotions. You stick neroli under their nose and say, smell my pretty bottle here. Just smell it. It'll help ground them and stabilize them. It's also an oil to renew hope and joy, because when you can release the anger and the resentment and the heartache and the betrayal, you have a renewed hope and joy. Okay, so it's really amazing for deep emotional pain. There are 2 oils that are outrageously fantastic for deep emotional pain. This is one. We're about ready to get to the other. It brings your focus into the moment because you stop the remembering, the reflecting, the dwelling, the stewing on things that have happened in the past, and it brings you right here and now. So this is in the oil called present time. If you've ever worked with present time, bam, it brings you into the now. It's the oil that y'all need to be meditating with. Frank and present time are best friends. So this oil, neroli, is in an oil called acceptance, because sometimes we just need to accept that the past happened. We can't change it. You know what? It's over. It's done. Accept. And that's not easy for me to say. I've not been good at accepting things, and now these oils have really helped. It's in inner child, because we can be more playful. It's in live with passion, because when you're living in the past, you can't live with passion. You have to be present, and then you can have passion, and it's in present time. So if you have any of those oils, you have neroli. It's in a lot of other blends too. So if you can't get this, go to the other blends that have neroli in it. All right, next oil. Oh, anyway, I forgot one more thing. When you smell it, it's sweet and it's bitter. So it helps with sweetness in life, and it helps to release the bitterness, okay? So it's like grapefruit with the bitterness. It helps to release bitterness. All right, peppermint. Everybody should have peppermint, right? Unless you've drank it all. And I have. My bottle is actually empty. So it's cool and it's dry. Oh, I can still smell it. It's earth and it's wood. So it governs liver, gallbladder, spleen, so anger and resentment, and stomach, stress. We got a theme going. So look at the anger and the resentment and the powerlessness that you have in your life, and this oil can help. So this oil is commonly taken for stomach support, right? Digestive support, and to soothe the nerves. It's actually called a tonic for the nerves. Okay, it refreshes the spirits, boosts your mental tiredness. You need to wake up. I drive with this because I do a lot of long distance driving, and boom, I'm back. What it does is it stimulates the stomach chi, okay? Because it's wood element, stomach element, okay? That's why we take peppermint, because we need to balance our stomach chi and that element. And it boosts concentration, okay? That's amazing. So you can drink it, apply it, smell it, whatever you want. And when you smell it, it smells sharp because it sharpens the mind. Isn't that awesome? So it helps with so many body systems: digestive, nervous, respiratory. I mean, it really helps also with lung chi, muscles, bones, and skin. It's in deep relief. Okay? How many of you love deep relief? I'm using that every night. I love it. Digest it's in, which helps with stomach support, and it's in transformation, because transformation helps us get out the anger and resentment so that we can transform. Ah, amazing. All right, who's got rose? I even have a special label on my rose bottle that says, I don't know if you can see it, smell only, because I'm determined that this is going to last my entire lifetime, because these oils don't expire. Wow. And honestly, this smells more pure than smelling an actual rose outside, because a lot of roses outside have fertilizers on them, and that's wrong. So this is cool and it's moist. It's fire element. So it's heart, and it's all heart. You smell this. This can bring into balance your heart chi like that. Frequency 320 hertz. Highest frequency of all oils. Okay, think about it this way. When our body is balanced, it resonates with the frequency of the earth. The frequency of the earth is 78 hertz. So when our body is 78 hertz, we are well on all levels. This is 320. So when you are feeling energetically low, you smell this and it'll raise your frequency. So this is your well-being oil. This comforts your emotional wounds. It works on deep despair. So like neroli, which goes deep, rose goes deep. And it's not just deep emotional pain, it's despair. Okay? So whenever I think about, remember what I was talking about with the neroli when I went off on the tangent about how there's some researchers out there working on the energy of breast cancer, that it's resentment, it's deep grief, it's deep despair. If you know anybody that's energetically working on getting rid of that sort of, energy from their body, have them get rose. Okay? It's worth every penny, and they're having a sale on it right now. Okay? Which is rare. That doesn't happen. That's so rare. Now, so it nourishes the heart chi, gives you well-being. It comforts emotional wounds. It works on deep despair, deep emotional wounds. It calms and cools the heart energy. Okay? So it gets the stagnant, this is, I'm moving some energy right now. Just smell, because I don't think I've smelled it this much in a long time. I got some energy. It's actually coming up through my throat. Wow. And you all are a witness to that. So this gets stagnant energy moving. And right now the energy is moving out through my throat. So I'm going to keep talking. And what it does is it moves the energy before it becomes tension and irritability. All right. You can drink it. You can put it on your skin. You can smell it. Because it's a small bottle and it's quite pricey, use it sparingly. You want to really keep it around. It smells deep and it smells green to me. It's the only other way I can describe it. It smells deep because it goes deep into your emotional wounds and your deep despair. So if you don't have rose and you don't see it on your, Essential Rewards anytime soon, get Envision oil. It's in that. It's in forgiveness. It's in joy. It's in Sarah, which deals with deep trauma. It's in Trauma Life, and it's in White Angelica. It's in a lot of different oils. If you go into the back of your any of your oil guidebooks, they break down the oils. I don't know if all books do this. The book that I has, you can look at the individual blends and it'll tell you all, or you can look at the individual oils and it will tell you all the blends that it's in. But these are some. So if you have any of these blends or want to get any of these blends, you have rose. Smell it. It's really fantastic for deep despair. Tea tree. All right. This used to be in the starter kit. Now it's an alternative, if I remember correctly. So tea tree is warm and dry. Ooh, and it smells dry. I don't know how to describe it, but it smells dry. Grab your tea tree if you have it. It is metal and fire element. Metal and fire supports the lungs, which is about speaking your truth and not being covered up with shame. And fire is heart. So heartache, betrayal. So when our lung energies are strong, we can speak our truth, right? And we can speak it with confidence. That's what tea tree does energetically. And when our heart energies are strong, we can speak and trust and love. We can say what we want to say, and we know that we're going to be accepted. So we don't feel that betrayal. So this strengthens our defensive chi. It really builds us up so that when we're energetically attacked, we can, we're good. It bolsters us. It bolsters our morale. It's really good for delicate people, for sensitive people. A lot of people are surprised to learn this about me. I am outrageously sensitive. And I'm not just talking about energetically sensitive. I am emotionally sensitive. I always have been. You play sad music, you put on a Hallmark commercial, and I get emotionally choked up, which is why I was getting choked up smelling the rose oil. I mean, notice the words I'm using, choked up, because it was coming up through my throat. That's how the energy works. This is really good for delicate people because it gives you confidence. Confidence can come from the lungs, okay? It comes from your stomach up through your lungs. Now, smells fresh and strong, but pungent, okay? So you can, don't drink this, okay? It's about the only one I'm going to say don't drink, but you can take it topically and aromatically. So it's really good for your immune system and your respiratory system because it works on the lung qi. It's good for muscles and bones, and it's really good for skin, really good for skin. So it's in oils called like Melrose and Purification. So definitely check those out. All right, let's go to thyme. Thyme is in the raindrop technique. I'm glad you guys are all sticking with this. I'm almost done. We're almost done. We have 3 more oils left and then we're done. So thanks for sticking around. Thyme is in raindrop. It's a hot, you hear people say hot oils. Energetically, this is a hot oil. It's a dry oil. It's water and metal. So it supports your lungs, which is shame, truth, center, and kidneys, which is fear. So when we need to breathe better, okay, sometimes we crave warmth. Okay, think about when you're really upset and sad and crying. Sometimes you wrap yourself in a blanket, right? You crave warmth. And when we're grieving, we need to dry out the lungs. Okay, so this stimulates the breath to release grief. Isn't that awesome how that works? All right, so it's known as a respiratory tonic. Get it? All right. So it stimulates the breath to release grief. Now it also energizes the kidneys. When you can energize the kidneys, remember kidneys are fear. You're getting, kidneys is where we store fear. So you're getting the fear out. And when you get the fear out, what do you have? You usually have drive, courage, get up and go. You do stuff. You take chances. You are motivated. You're inspired. You go for things. You know, people say go for it. When you don't have fear, you got to have clear kidneys to do that. This helps, okay? So when you have apathy, you're just like, who cares? You use thyme. When you have fear, use thyme, okay? It smells medicinal to me. And when you think of medicine in the traditional sense, medicine is pulling stuff out of us, right? This is going to pull stuff out of you, okay? It's going to pull it out of your lungs. It's going to pull it out of your kidneys. You can take all 3 ways. You can drink it, smell it, put it on your skin. It's in the blend Longevity. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's an interesting blend that it's in. All right, let's go to Vetiver. I tell you, people either love this or they hate it. There doesn't seem to be any in between for Vetiver. Maybe I've smelled too many oils. It's like, do I even smell it? Yeah, okay, now I smell it. Woo! It's cool and it's moist. Okay, it's cool and moist. It's an earth element, so it governs spleen and stomach. That's resentment and stress. Cool, it's cooling and it's nourishing, that moistness. It's nourishing for the body. You know, when you think of something's dry, you want to moisturize it. You want to nourish it, right? So this nourishes. So what it does when we think of resentment, when we think of stress in the stomach, we can store insecurity there. So this nourishes insecurity to get you more secure. But it also nourishes when you are mentally exhausted. I've been there. I've done that really a lot recently. I've just been mentally exhausted because I'm just doing way too much. So what it does is it relaxes and cools the overheated mind. It can sedate it. It can restore it. So this is really good for perfectionists and workaholics, okay? Vetiver, really good for the perfectionist workaholic. It's also good for emotional trauma and for energetic shock, getting that, because, you know, when we experience a trauma or a shock, we feel it in our stomach, right? We say, oh my gosh, I felt like I was punched in the stomach. I got sick to my stomach. Vetiver. That's what you need to smell. To me, it smells smoky, but sweet. And to me, that means it's psychologically grounding. Okay? So the body systems that it works on is emotional, it's hormone, it's nervous systems, it's the skin system. So it's in blends like Deep Relief. Okay? So Deep Relief, I love at the end of the day when I am emotionally spent. Mentally, I'm spent. I use Deep Relief. And it's also in Lady Scleral. So look that one up. You can take it all three ways. Drink it, inhale it, apply it. All right, last oil, ylang ylang. All right, who's got ylang ylang? So this is cool and moist. Wow, that's very different from vetiver. Very different. It's a fire element, so it's heart, and it's all heart. So what this does is it balances the heart chi. It clears heat from the heart because it's cooling. It clears the heat. So it can move up those dried up emotions, all of those negative, hot emotions, the anger that's been spewing, you know, that person in 6th grade that was mean to you, and your first boyfriend who was a snarky, nasty guy, and it's baked into your heart. This will cool it and move it. It's going to get those dried up emotions that are caked in and dried up. It's going to soothe them and open it and move it out. So it's also good at balancing male and female energy, calms the anger, it enhances self-esteem and self-love. It smells sweet, but heavy, but intoxicating, if that makes sense to you. It's, okay, here's what it's like to me. It's like when you have a glass of wine and you just relax and you just let go after a glass of wine. Not drinking a whole bottle and getting toasted, just a glass of wine. You know how you feel? You just kind of let go. That's what ylang ylang smells like to me. It's intoxicating. Dun dun dun. I love it when I make these connections. So the body systems that it works on, it's emotional, works on cardiovascular because it's heart energy, hormone energy, okay? And it's great for your hair. Start putting it in your hair. Okay, I'm putting it in my hair right now. Put it in your shampoo. You'll feel good when you get out of the shower. So it's in oils like Common Sense, because when we're hanging on to dried, pent up energy, there's not a whole lot of common sense in that. So Common Sense helps us let it go. Gratitude, let it go. Joy, we feel joy, we let it go. Sacred Mountain. If you have not tried Sacred Mountain, I really recommend it. And White Angelica. Okay, let the angels take it and be done. You can drink it, smell it, apply it, use it whatever way you want. Okay? All right. Now, I hope you all can see this. Maybe not. Definitely download the PDF. This is the frequency, not of all the oils, but of the oils that I have the frequencies of, and it ranks them in order. So you can see purification is the lowest, and it doesn't mean that it's going to lower your energy. All of these add to. So I think of this like a prosecutor, like consecutive sentencing. Sherry's going to laugh at that. Oh, I used to work with Sherry in the prosecutor's office. So consecutive means you stack it on top of each other, okay? So consider this like consecutive sentencing. So let's say your frequency, you're feeling like maybe a 58, you know, which is when like cold and flu sets in energetically. I'm not talking physically, but energetically it sets in. You can even add purification or valor, and it adds on top of that. So it can bump you way up. Okay, it can bring you up. So just because a frequency is low doesn't mean it lowers your frequency. Okay, don't think that at all. But you can see there's all of these blends that Gary has put together. And look at the highest one. Rose is high, Look at forgiveness, 192. Joy, 188. Helichrysum, 181. Exodus, sacred frankincense, sacred mountain, gentle baby, thieves. Look at these. Mister, inspiration. I'm going backwards. Even grounding is high. So I just wanted you to have that, okay? So this is all about getting clear and getting balanced, because when you can clear out these emotions that have been wearing you down, like that emotional baggage that we talked about at the beginning, these are emotions that no longer serve you. They're in the past. They can't serve you now. What you do is you release them, and then you release the physical results that go with the energy of those emotions, okay? And this is where the oils are a powerful supportive partner in getting you clear, in getting you balanced, so that body, mind, and spirit are lined up, okay? So that you can start doing what you want to do in life. And I got to tell you, it's totally awesome when you can start living the life that you want to do. You can do the work that you want to do. And if it's, sharing Young Living so that you can get an awesome commission check, go for it. If it's doing other stuff, just do work that you love. Spend your days doing stuff that you love, and you can only do that when you get clear and balanced. And that's why working with these oils are amazing. I took major leaps of faith this year. I moved from Virginia back home to Michigan. I bought a house. It's a huge house. I don't know how I can afford it, but I can, because I got balanced and I'm doing the work that I love, and I'm cutting way back on this legal work that I've done. I've been in it 22 years. I'm still always going to work in animal protection, but I'm getting rid of the toxic energy of the legal work that I've been in, and I'm doing more healing work because I've been working with these oils, and I've gotten clear and I've gotten balanced, and body, mind, and spirit get aligned. And you may not know how you're going to do it, but you don't need to know how. You just need to know what you want to do and why you want to do it. All right, so that's my pitch. You all remember, you got to please start sharing these premium kits with people, because $10 off. Let's get people signed up and start talking to them about the energy of these oils. I'm going to send you all the recording of this. Please share it with people, because we've really got to get people to understand the energy of the oils. You all know about the diffusers. You all know about the premium starter kits, because you're all part of Young Living. I'm always here to answer your questions. If you want more information about the energy of the oils, and especially how they work with animals, because that's one of my specialties, is working with the animals. All right, we're done. Any questions? Woo, that was 90 minutes. I can't believe you guys hung in this long. I hope this was informative. Was it helpful? Oh, good. I'm glad you loved it. Thank you. And you guys actually saw an energy clearing when I was smelling the rose. I'm so glad you saw that. All right, fantastic. I'll send you all the recordings so that you have it, because my recordings don't go public. You either gotta be on the live or ask for the recording, but you are welcome to share it with people that you know, okay? All right. Barb, she liked watching me get high. Woo, I'm high. I'm gonna have to go ground myself. I'm gonna go get some grounding oil. I'm gonna smell the Northern Lights black spruce, which I wear every night now before I go to bed. It is awesome. I highly recommend that you get it. We just got an email that you get a free bottle of this if you buy the first distillation kit. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for joining. Bye.